Hi there, I'm Leo, and if there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I love Halloween. As a father of two, Halloween in my house is a big deal. We spend weeks preparing, planning, and decorating, trying to make our home the most exciting and maybe a little spooky place in the neighborhood. But here's the thing, I've never been one to spend a fortune on decorations. I'm all about getting creative, using what we have, and making the most of a small budget. And that's exactly what I want to share with you today. How to create amazing Halloween decor without breaking the bank. Whether you want your home to feel like a haunted house or just a fun, festive space, I've got plenty of ideas that won't drain your wallet. When we first started decorating for Halloween, I wanted to go all out. I thought about buying expensive props and pre-made decorations. But with two kids and a budget, I knew I had to get creative. That's when we decided to make most of our decorations ourselves, and let me tell you, it's been a blast. One year, we transformed our living room into a haunted house. We used old sheets to cover the furniture, making them look like dusty, abandoned pieces in a haunted mansion. My wife suggested spraying the sheets with white hairspray to give them that old, cobwebbed look, and it worked. The kids and I made ghost decorations using balloons and cheesecloth, hanging them from the ceiling with fishing line. Every time someone walked past, the ghosts would sway in the breeze, giving everyone a fun little scare. For lighting, we kept things simple with battery-operated candles and dimmed our lamps. Just lowering the light levels added so much to the atmosphere, it felt like a real haunted house. Oh, and let's not forget about the sound effects. We found some spooky soundtracks online, howling winds, creaking doors, and the occasional scream that played on a loop. It was such a simple addition, but it made everything feel much creepier. But with younger kids, I didn't want everything to be too scary, so we balanced out the spooky with some fun. In the kitchen, we went for a more lighthearted theme. Pumpkins are always a hit, and one of our favorite things to do is set up a pumpkin parade. We gather a few pumpkins in different sizes, and the kids and I paint goofy faces on them. You can get all kinds of craft supplies for this, googly eyes, glitter, pipe cleaners from the dollar store. The kids love getting involved, and we end up with a fun, colorful display that brings a smile to everyone who sees it. We also like to line the windows with orange and purple string lights. They're inexpensive and make the house feel festive without being too over the top. Let's talk about outdoor decorations because, let's face it, this is where you can really impress the neighbors. Our front yard is where we go all out. One year, my daughter came up with the idea to turn our yard into a graveyard. We made tombstones out of cardboard, just plain old boxes we cut up and spray painted gray. I got creative with the names on the tombstones, writing things like "I am gone" and "Bury alive." The kids loved it, and so did the trick-or-treaters. To make the tombstones stand out at night, we placed a few small, cheap lanterns, again battery-operated for safety, around them. The whole thing looked like a spooky graveyard scene from a movie, and it cost us next to nothing. Hanging skeletons from the trees was another hit. These were actually leftover from last year's Halloween costumes, but you can get plastic skeletons pretty cheap at most stores. We tied them up with fishing line, so they looked like they were floating or swinging from the branches. I'll admit, it was a little creepy, even for me. To top it off, we invested in a fog machine. Now, before you think I went all out with the spending, let me tell you, we bought the fog machine on clearance after Halloween one year. It's always a good idea to keep an eye on those post-holiday sales. You can find some amazing deals on decorations that you can use the following year. That fog machine made our front yard the spookiest one on the block. Every time the fog rolled out, you could barely see the tombstones, and the whole scene looked like it belonged in a horror movie. It was awesome. But we don't always go for the spooky look. Sometimes, especially when we have younger trick-or-treaters, we opt for a more fun, family-friendly theme. We've set up pumpkin patches in the front yard with inflatable pumpkins that I grabbed on sale, combined with some scarecrows that we made ourselves. The scarecrows are super easy to make. You just need some old clothes, a little straw, and a lot of imagination. We usually use old flannel shirts and jeans for the bodies, stuffing them with straw and adding funny hats or masks. The kids love helping with this part, and it's a great way to reuse old clothes. We also put out some fall-themed decorations like hay bales and corn stalks to make it feel more festive. It's less spooky and more welcoming for the little ones. One of my favorite DIY projects is making bats out of black construction paper. This one's a real family favorite because it's so easy and the kids can help. We cut out bat shapes, punch little holes in them, and hang them from the ceiling or porch with fishing line. The bats spin and sway in the breeze, and at night, they cast these creepy shadows everywhere. It's a simple touch, but it adds so much atmosphere to our setup. And speaking of simple, we also like to recycle what we can for decorations. Old milk jugs, for example, make excellent ghost lanterns. We wash them out, paint them white, and draw spooky faces on them with black marker. Stuff some LED lights inside, and you've got glowing ghost lanterns to line your walkway. Best of all, it costs almost nothing, and the kids get a kick out of making them. When it comes to decorating on a budget, it's all about being smart with your purchases. I always recommend checking out dollar stores, thrift shops, or even online marketplaces where people sell their old decorations. You don't need to spend a ton of money to make your house look great. We've repurposed things from around the house, like turning an old black tablecloth into a spooky entranceway curtain by shredding the edges and adding fake spiders. You'd be amazed at what you can do with a little creativity. Now, I've got to talk about safety because with kids running around, it's always on my mind. One thing we learned early on is that outdoor decorations need to be sturdy and weatherproof. You don't want a gust of wind to knock over your tombstones or blow away your scarecrow. We always make sure to anchor everything down and check that all our lights are rated for outdoor use. And don't forget to keep your walkways clear. It's easy to get carried away with the decorations, but safety comes first, especially when you've got excited trick-or-treaters heading your way. So that's how we do Halloween at our house. Big on fun, light on the wallet. Whether you want to create a spooky graveyard or a friendly pumpkin patch, the key is to get creative and make it your own. And remember, you don't need to spend a fortune to make your house look amazing. Some of our best decorations have been the ones we made ourselves, and the memories we create while making them are worth far more than anything we could buy in a store. At the end of the day, Halloween is about having fun with your family and creating memories. Whether you go for spooky or silly, the important thing is to enjoy the process. And who knows, maybe this year, you'll create a setup that becomes the talk of the neighborhood. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a spooky, fun-filled Halloween.